Hi, and welcome to this new episode in which we're going to talk about copying your favorite singer when singing. And I actually want to argue that doing that and copying your favorite singer is not going to help you develop as a singer. So let's look into that, because if that's something that you do, if you're listening to Adele or Sam Smith and you're trying to emulate their sound, you might be making a very big mistake that holds you back to grow as a singer. So let's dive into this. Hi, and welcome to this new episode. Today we're going to be looking at one of the big mistakes that many beginner singers make, which is listen to a song and then take however that artist is singing that song and trying to copy that. So maybe this is something that you find yourself doing, and maybe that works for you, maybe it doesn't. No judgment here. The idea behind it is that it might not be the most efficient way for you to practice singing and to develop yourself as a singer. So because this is something that many beginner singers make, I do want to shine some light on this and give you a better way to train your voice, to practice your singing, and to keep growing as a singer. So first of all, let me point out that I totally get why many singers will try and copy or emulate the sound of the original artist. Because as children, we're all mirroring our parents, our teachers, society. That's how we learn. As a baby, we see someone walk by standing up on 2 feet, and then we're trying to do the same. So as human beings, we are taught that in order to learn something, we need to copy someone and do the same. So it's not unlogic that someone would listen to a song, tell themselves, I want to be able to sing this song, so I need to figure out what that singer is doing and do the same, right? So I get where this is coming from. I get why people work in this way. Now, the truth is that when it comes to singing, mirroring, the act of copying someone else, might not be the most efficient way to train your voice. And the reason behind that is because your voice is very unique. You as a person, you are a unique snowflake, and so is your voice. So every voice tends to work differently. Now, obviously, there are some principles that stay the same. So we all have vocal cords, and those vocal cords, they vibrate to produce sound. So yes, in that aspect, it is the same for everyone. What I'm really referring to is the techniques in order to get that vibration and in order to get that sound. See, some of us will use one technique, and then others will use another technique, and one might fit you better than the other. See, many singers, they're looking for this one right, best way to sing. And let me give you an example. Amy Winehouse, you know her from We've Only Said Goodbye in Words, I Died 100 Times, Back to Black, right? She's someone who's got this natural twanginess in her voice. So when I listen to her sing, I recognize that she uses the twang technique many times. Now, if I want to sing one of her songs, I could choose and apply twang as well, because she does that. However, twang might not be a technique that fits me personally. Maybe twang doesn't sit well with me. Maybe it doesn't sound like I want it to sound. Maybe it doesn't feel as good. Maybe I need to use my mixed voice in order to sing the same thing as her. So the end result will be the same. We're singing whatever we want to be singing, but the way there will be different. And that is the key. So let me say that again. The end result might be the same, We're singing what we want to be singing, but the way towards that end result will be different. And that depends, first of all, on how you want your voice to sound, on how you want to use your voice, on what emotion is behind that voice, and what emotion you want to evoke while singing that song. Those are all determined factors of how and which technique you're going to use to sing that song. And Amy Winehouse, to go back to our example, had probably different choices that she made when she sang that song in the studio. And maybe when she's doing it live, she might make other choices. Maybe she wants to sing that song in a more intimate way. And thus, she will use different vocal techniques as well. Does that make sense? I hope so. So let me tie that back, because if you keep on listening to the artist, trying to figure out what the vocal technique is that they're using, and then trying to do that yourself, that's where many singers get stuck. That's where many singers get the idea or the feeling that they're not really moving forward. So what do we want to be doing instead is actually starting to, how can I say this? Build up our vocal technique backpack. I always talk about the vocal technique backpack. It's a metaphorical backpack. So imagine that you and we go climb a mountain. And we're taking a backpack with us. What do we need in that backpack? Well, we need to have tools to support us throughout our journey. So maybe we'll put a bottle of water in there, some crackers so that we're not fainting along the way. Maybe we have some trekking shoes. Maybe we have a hat and sunscreen. So there's tools in our backpack to support us along the journey while we're climbing the mountain. So when we're singing, we want to be doing the same. We want to have this backpack that we fill up with different vocal techniques and tools that we can use along our singing journey. And so then when you're singing a song and you're noticing that your voice might feel a little bit tensed or limited or maybe even hoarse, you feel like you have what I call a roadblock on your singing journey, something that doesn't go quite as you want it to go. Well, that's your opportunity to open up your backpack and test out the different tools that you have available. Let me give you an example. So say we're singing Let It Be from the Beatles. Let it be, let it be. And you're feeling that on that highest note, let it be, your voice is straining a little bit. Okay, well, let's open up our backpack and let's see what's in there. Okay, there's twang. The twang technique is in there because we've covered that in previous episodes. I'll link to it in the description down below, by the way. Let's take that twang and let's try and apply that to our song. Okay, let it be, let it be. It works, but it's not the result that I'm after. So I'm putting twang back into my backpack. Let's see what other technique I could use to apply to my song. Oh, mixed voice is in there. Nice. Let's try mixed voice. Taking mixed voice out of my backpack, applying it to the song. Let it be, let it be. Now that sounds nice to me. It feels good when I'm singing it. My voice is very relaxed and loose, and my voice sounds how I want it to sound. Okay, I'm using mixed voice in this area of the song. This is the thought pattern that you can go through to sing any song. Instead of going and listen to what the Beatles have done, what vocal technique they have put into place there, and try and copy that. Because maybe the Beatles, they put twang in that space, but that might not have worked for me personally. Does that make sense? So the idea is that to get to that end result, you're finding your own path and your own way. In other words, you're finding the vocal techniques that work for you. And that's why it is so hard to answer the question that I get from so many singers. They ask me, I want to be able to sing high notes. What technique would you tell me to use? Well, there's many. And there's not one right technique that fits everyone. So that's why you need to start filling up your metaphorical vocal technique backpack. And in order to help you start this, I actually have a free training coming up where you learn all those vocal techniques and definitely like the foundations of all those vocal techniques, because there's many to discover. And I would highly recommend you go through that training because that will be the start for you to fill up your backpack so that you can go and choose which technique fits you to achieve your singing goal. So I will link to that free training here down below. It's totally free, so click the link, go sign up, go watch that training. That's your homework for today. If you have any other questions regarding this, then please reach out. My biggest challenge or homework for you for this week is to take a song, sing it in your own way, and then look into your vocal technique backpack to see what you can use and apply if you are struggling with some pieces of the song, whether that's high notes, low notes, or riffs, or vibrato, whatever it is. Use your vocal technique backpack. And as you know, this is what we do in the Singing Insiders, which is our amazing community for passionate singers where you can learn how to sing, get feedback from coaches. This is where it all comes together. So if you want to know more about the Singing Insiders, you can sign up for the wait list. I'll link to it in the description down below here as well. So that's that. But really, your homework for today is to go through that free training. So click the link below as well. If you have any questions, let me know. I want to thank you so much for having been here today, for spending the time here with me. I hope this perspective shift has helped you in any way. Please try it on and see how that fits you. And I'm looking forward to see you here again next week. Thank you. Bye.